Hey orchestra students, this is learning video number 11 for the school year. Today we're going to be learning a song called French Folk Song, and very special, something to be excited about is that next week we are going to be learning how to hold the bow and how to get started using the bow for the first time together, which I know a lot of you are very excited about. Some of you have been writing to me asking when will that begin. It's going to be next week. But today we'll be learning French folk song and we'll be reviewing our D major scale. So gather what you think you need and let's get started. Hey violinists, let's sit up nice and tall on our hard surface seat. Check that we have about 6 inches of space behind us. Our feet are down, our shoulders are back and down. Let's come into playing position in 5, 4, 3, 2, instrument up on the shoulder, and 1. Let's slide our hand back into first position. And let's review the notes of our D major scale. We're going to start from our high D today, so put your 3 fingers down on the A string, 1, 2, 3. And let's play each note of the D scale 3 times, descending. So starting high, lifting off fingers and going low. We'll end when we get to our open D. Anchor your finger to the side here. Ready, set, go. D, lift off. C sharp, B, open A. Hover, hover, hover. G, F sharp, E, open D. Let's try that again once more, starting with your 3 fingers up on the A string, 3 times on each note. We call this a descending D scale, and we're doing it in groups of 3 times on each note. Ready, set, go. Hover your fingers close. Position. Give the instrument a nice hug. Thank you, instruments. So that's our warm-up. It's our D scale descending in groups of 3. So open up your packet number 2 on Google Classroom and find the song French Folk Song. French Folk Song, as you'll see in your packet, is divided into 3 parts. Listen while I play all of part 1. High D, it says 3 on A, so we put our 3 fingers on the A string, and it makes our note name high D. C sharp, E, C sharp, D, then open A. Next line. Open, 0 D. Okay, so pause and practice that part 1 of the French folk song, which resembles the descending D scale. Pause and practice part 1. We're ready to move on to part 2 of French folk song. Part 2 has a little bit of a pattern. It's D, E, Fis, D, E, Fis, D, E, Fis, G. Then, like a sequence, E, Fis, G, E, Fis, G, E, Fis, G, A. Listen while I play part 2. Listen for the patterns and the sequence. Listen for the repetition. Pause and practice part 2 when you're ready. And now let's take a look at part 3, the very end of French folk song. It starts in your high D and it goes down just like our scale. You play each note 1 time as if you're descending on the scale, and then a little twist or turn at the end. E, D, E, D. Listen while I play part 3. I'm starting on my high D and I'm lifting off fingers, just like a D scale. pause and practice part 3 when you're ready. Now that we've learned all 3 parts of the French folk song, let's do a play down. We'll play it all the way through. Come into playing position in 5, 4, 3, sitting tall, 2, shoulders back and down, 1, left hand comes to first position. Setting up your high D. Ready, set, go. Two, 3. Two, 3. Two, 3. Two, 3. Let's come into rest position, give our instruments a nice hug. Nice work this week. Keep it up. I look forward to seeing you in one of our live sessions during the coming weeks. And also stay tuned for next week when we are going to learn how to use the bow. All right, happy practicing. Hi, cello players. Let's find ourselves sitting right on the edge of our seat and bring our instrument to us. Sitting with our shoulders square, instrument resting against your chest. Today for our warm-up, we're going to play the D scale. We're going to go descending. That means we're going to start high and we're going to lift off fingers and we'll end on our open D. So let's put our hand in first position. We'll start with our 4 fingers on the A string. And today we're going to play each note of the scale 3 times in a row like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, all the way down until we reach our open D. Playing position in 5, 4, sitting tall, 3, 2, feet are down, and 1. Ready, set, go. Hover, hover, hover. Very nice. So that is our descending D scale in groups of 3. We played each note 3 times for 3 pulses in a group. So go ahead and open up your packet number 2 on Google Classroom and you're looking for the song called French Folk Song. Pause and join me when you're ready. The French folk song is divided into 3 parts of the song. Listen while I play part 1, which very much resembles that descending D scale that we just did as our warm-up. Here's part 1 of French folk song. Pulse, pulse. Pulse, pulse. Pause the video and try practicing part 1 on your own. Let's move on to learning part 2. Part 2 uses repetition, patterns, a sequence. It goes like this. D, E, F sharp, D, E, F sharp, D, E, F sharp. So it's the same thing 3 times in a row. And then G, and then a little different part of the sequence. E, F sharp, G, E, F sharp, G, E, F sharp, G. So there's our pattern. D, E, F sharp 3 times, and then E, F sharp, G 3 times. So listen while I play part 2, and then you can pause and practice. Pulse, pulse now. E, pulse, pulse. Pause and practice part 2 on your own. If you're ready, let's move on to part 3. Part 3 is again very much like a descending scale. We play D, C, B, A, G, V, and then a little twist or turn at the end. E, D, E, D. So we don't go straight down to our open D. We have a little twist and turn at the end. E, D, E, D. But otherwise, it's very much the same as a descending D scale, like we did for our warm-up. This time we play each note one time. Listen while I play part 3. Again, feeling those groups of 3 notes together. Pause and practice part 3. And if you're ready to move on, let's do a play down of the whole tune. Check your posture. Make sure that your cello is really square to you. It's not like leaning off to one side or another. You can even check, bring it out in front of you nice and straight, and then bring the instrument to you like that. You're in control. You're on the edge of your chair. Tall back, shoulders down. Set up your high D. And let's play our French folk song all the way through. Ready, set, go. Pulse, pulse. Go into rest position. All right, nice work, cello students. Good job learning your French folk song for this week. Stay tuned for next week when we are going to be learning for the first time together how we use our bow. I'm looking forward to seeing you then. Happy practicing. Have a great rest of your week.